Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech protected.
Local news, politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty on the beat. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty.
Good morning, Rockingham, and welcome to the feed. It's Mike Smith. I'm here today with Charlie Jaras. Marty is off on the Outer Banks, having a good time, you know, decompressing a little bit. But
That's
she's
South
good.
Carolina or North Carolina?
Yeah. Out there below Kitty Hawk, you know. And,
Good for her.
yeah, and she broadcast the sunrise this morning, and I was very jealous. It looked amazing.
We had a beautiful sunrise here too, though.
We did, but it's hard to see with Fall Mountain in the way. You know, it's not like that big, long, way out in the ocean when the sun, you know, yeah, it's just, oof, it's amazing. But anyway, here we are, September 29th. We're here in Rockingham. I'm here with Charlie. We have some local events. Exciting for me is we have a second showing of Called to Duty. It's going to be October 7th. That's a week from tomorrow, and it will be at the Opera House. It will be at 7:15, and it will be for donation only. It's a fundraiser for the Memorial Park.
So if I could just throw something in on that, I haven't seen it yet. I saw the trailer, and I told Mike that the trailer was really good. Obviously, that's only 30 seconds, I guess, but a really good trailer. It really got my interest. I haven't seen it yet, but I've gotten a lot of people talking about it, you know, saying, geez, Call to Duty, is it going to play again, so forth and so on. So I'm happy that it's going to play again, and I think, you know, people are going to see it now. It's 90 minutes, right?
85 minutes to be exact.
85 minutes, so you can get popcorn and
You can get popcorn.
Is there an intermission, by the way?
There is
no
there's
intermission.
not an intermission. But I had several people say that they were surprised that it would move so quickly.
How
the
quickly?
pacing.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. All right.
Yeah. I think
All
you're going to like it.
and I'm definitely going to be there this time.
Oh, good. That's good to hear. And I think we'd like all sorts of people to be here because it's for the Memorial Park. We'll be talking a little bit about community actions later on. But this is something that we did here at Fact TV for the community, and it's really panned out. One of the things, and I hate to say it, but I think people were surprised at the quality. That they were thinking, well, this is something that was done by Mike Smith at Fact TV, probably isn't very good. But I think when we got through it, they were very surprised.
It was almost like a Ken Burns story.
Well, that's
I mean, the trailer. The trailer showed that. It was almost
it's a documentary.
It's a documentary, and I think, and obviously, there's a lot of folks that you're going to say, "Oh, I know him," or "I know
exactly.
her," and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be well worth going that night. Again, the night is going to be
the 7th of October, which is a week from tomorrow.
Okay.
And it's going to be at 7:15 in the evening, and there's an article about it in the Brattleboro Reformer, if anybody is interested. Susan Small here wrote a really nice article, and it was the interesting thing is she ended with a quote from Deb Wright, who said that it was the movie showed her the heroes of our community, and so that was pretty interesting. Anyway, that's happening, but then right after that weekend is going to be the dedication of the Memorial Park. That the
Fireman's Parade, right? Is
Fireman's
that the
Parade is on the 10th.
Yeah.
But they're also going to dedicate the Memorial Park that they're building, and I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it is.
I've seen it little by little. The growth of it. Yeah.
It's fantastic. They have the Christmas tree up now, and they have the stone wall in. It's really coming along.
Well, what's nice about it also, if I could just throw this in, is that I know that they're getting saying, hey, if we can help. But of course, the firemen that we have now are all involved in it, and some pretty talented guys that are creating this. But they're getting on Facebook saying, hey, if there's anything I can do. So that's the type of thing that I like seeing happen.
Right. I mean, this is one of the. I think it's going to be a unique project in that it's going to be a memorial park in the middle of town that is not going to cost the taxpayer anything.
Right.
Which is. That's a win-win if ever I heard one.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So anyway, that's going to be the weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend is going to be the dedication.
Indigenous
Yes,
peoples.
it's Indigenous Peoples Weekend.
Right.
So it's going to be, the dedication's going to be on Sunday. I hear that there's going to be some sort of informal get-together of people that were there or family members and stuff the day before on Saturday, maybe at the Dairy Joint evening. I don't know that, but it's like something that, hasn't been announced, but it's like people are trying to put something together. So yeah, it's going to be a weekend. So that's cool. Positive, very positive. And then something new that's just come up on the radar is, as we were working this out, we had to switch dates because a person had already booked the 7th. And they were so kind that as soon as they heard what it was and what it was about and everything, they switched with us. So they're moving their event to the 14th. And I started looking into the event. And it's actually a movie that was produced locally in 2000. And it's called Atomic Attack of the Son of the Creature, of the Son of the Seaweed Creature. And it's a take on a 1950s horror movie, black and white.
Yeah.
There's a rock band in it, 1950s rock band. It is very good. It's campy, has the Miss Bellows Falls Diner in it. It looks really good. Anyway, I'm going to be promoting that too because it's Halloween and it's coming up and it's local and
it's 11 years ago.
11
years ago. So,
at least I think he originally did it in 2000, and he worked on putting together the.
Oh, so it's 20 years ago.
Yeah,
21 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Because I sold a diner in 2003.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I owned a diner at that time they were filming.
Oh, really?
Right.
Do you remember?
I never got no. But obviously they didn't say, well, geez, you should be one of the creatures. So.
Well, I was wondering.
Interesting. Yeah.
Anyway. So that's that. But then right after that, the 16th and the 17th, is the Flannel Festival.
Right, the Flannel Festival, which this is our second show, and I really thank Mike for asking me to come on for a second time. Because the Flannel Festival is a fundraiser for the Chamber of Commerce. And why I really want to mention this is the fundraiser for the Chamber of Commerce, the Greater Falls Area Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, Falls Area.
Of course, the Rockingham Old Home Days in the past was one of the major ones, but that has unfortunately declined. Hopefully, in the future, they're going to think of new ways of bringing that back again.
Right.
And I was just talking to Mike earlier about the importance of the Chamber of Commerce. I just said that if I was a businessman and coming to town and looking for an investment, say, for instance, to close Miss Bellows Falls Diner, the first place I would go to is the Chamber of Commerce,
Right.
and probably on a weekend. And unfortunately, the Chamber of Commerce isn't open on weekends. And the reason is because they don't have enough staff.
Right,
They have a
right.
part-time executive director, and I think they're just hiring a part-timer right now also. And it's all about money. I mean, you gotta have money to be able to have employees, even for the
Exactly.
Chamber of Commerce. And I this is why I'm so interested in helping in the sense of getting one big fundraiser, at least a year,
Yeah.
to be able to bring enough money in to put on hopefully a full-time executive director of the Chamber of Commerce and a part-timer, and that we can be open on weekends, the Chamber of Commerce. And so that's why I'm so excited about the Flannel Festival.
The Flannel Festival.
And that's going to be on the 16th and 17th. That's only about 2.5
2
weeks. 2.5
Yeah.
weeks away.
Yeah.
And
2 weeks
it's
for this weekend.
And it's just to let you folks know, and we really are getting the advertising out there.
Yeah,
I think we're getting out there. In fact, I even got one of these up in Woodstock.
Ah,
Yeah,
good for you.
yeah, a couple of places in Woodstock actually. And so on Saturday, we have live entertainment on Saturday and Sunday, and we also Debbie and the Downers and the Bridesmaids. And then on Sunday, we have Low Lily and the Stockwell Brothers. And then on Saturday, we also have the Springfield Stringers from Springfield.
I like them.
And they're fiddle
They are-
players, banjo players, and
But I don't mean to correct you, but it's the Breakmaids. They played at the
Breakmates,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Breakmates. They played. I saw them when Ray was doing the Roots on the River. They were really good. He played downtown a few
I've
times.
never seen them, so
Oh,
yeah,
you'd
I'm
like
looking
them.
forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, there's going to be all kinds of other activities. And you know, one of the things I've been involved with the chamber for 2 years. I'm not a board member, but I got involved because I thought I could help by offering the Rockingham Hill Farm, which is under my T-shirt here, as a venue for a fundraiser.
Yeah.
And 2019 was our first one. And as I understand it, by the numbers that the chamber had, in 5 hours, 1,600 people came through. 1,600 people.
1,600 people.
So this could really potentially be a really bonanza for the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
As a fundraiser.
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
could do the things that they want to do. One of the things that I've asked the chamber to do, and in fact, I'll be involved in that aspect of it at the Flannel Festival, is to have a sort of a sign-up lease for volunteers for next year,
Yeah, yeah.
and people that would like to, be part of it. And it's only for a few hours, and they could just pick Saturday or Sunday if they do it for 2 days.
Yeah.
And also a sign-up for people that may want to be Chamber of Commerce board members.
Yeah,
I
or
know-
be involved with the chamber. Maybe you don't want to.
Right,
maybe
like me.
an auxiliary. Yeah, like you.
Like me,
The
that
perfect
just
example.
want
is-
it- yeah,
Yeah,
it-
maybe you don't want to be on the board, but I'd really like to be involved and help out in projects. And things like that.
Exactly. So if we get a sign-up list, and saying, with a sign that says, if you're looking to maybe participate in your community and you don't know what you can do, well, why don't you sign up? Give us your name and email. And if you don't want to give your phone number, obviously you don't have to, just your email, because
Yeah.
everything seems to be by email today anyway. And that way we have a list of folks that want to be volunteers, well, not maybe just the Chamber of Commerce, but other organizations.
Right.
Because as you say, all organizations are looking for volunteers.
That's really there's really a problem right now. A problem, I guess. Issue is, well, I don't know how to say it. There are a lot of organizations that are sort of core to a community, like the Rotary and the Lions. When you walk in, when you go into town and you see those badges on the signpost,
Right, exactly.
you want to see those things, and I know that there are a lot of them are sort of maybe aging out a little bit, and it's hard to get new people to come in. And I realize people are busy, but how busy?
Well, let's talk about that for a second, okay? Because I've been asking a lot of people when they say, "Oh, well, we'd like to, see this done and see that." Well, why don't you get involved?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I'd be good, or I don't have the time. And I said, well, first of all, if you say you wanted to get involved with the Chamber of Commerce as a volunteer, and you could, as little as 2 hours a month, to as many as you'd like, just to sit at the Chamber of Commerce on a Saturday, say from, I don't know, from 12 to 2, and just if people come in, you say welcome. If I can ask any questions, plus you can learn more about your own community,
Right.
Because you'll be sitting there with all those brochures and all that information. And I don't know if a lot of people may not know, but the chamber, the Greater Falls Area Chamber of Commerce, is in the Waypoint Center, which is a wonderful building
Very
and
nice,
structure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really underutilized. So I think that we could do a lot more, and there's been so much talk about the island and what may happen with the railroad station. I mean, people, have mentioned that it could be a tavern or a brewery.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, we had a Robinson paper mill now that's,
That's
almost
that
2
green space
acres
now,
of
yeah.
land
Yeah.
that hopefully, some maybe manufacturer could see, and maybe, I don't know, maybe a brand new brewery. I mean, who knows?
I know.
In other words,
I know.
it's a really unique piece of property. That
Yes.
whole island is a unique piece of property. And also that they have that kitchen that's up there also.
Right.
That
The commercial kitchen just
the
above
commercial kitchen.
where the Vermont Farm Factory or the Vermont Farm Machinery Factory used to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Vermont. Yeah. So there's so much that people could do as volunteers, and I'm sure the senior center needs volunteers occasionally, and the library needs volunteers. So there's all kinds of things. My thing is, how do you get people to volunteer?
Yeah,
And-
that's the hard part. You're
And-
right.
And I think one of the ways that we could do it, especially, forgive me if this is happening already. For instance, to graduate from, say, the Bellows Falls Union High School, you have to have 40 hours of community service.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, you have to have that to be able to graduate. That has to be, part of your
Right.
English and what all that
Yeah,
stuff.
it makes sense. You're supposed to give back to the community.
Right. And whether or not they have a coordinator or not at the high school, I believe if they don't, they should. Somebody should at least volunteer to be a coordinator.
Yeah, yeah.
So say the chamber needed, kids, for instance, just to sit at the chamber office.
Right.
They could just call the coordinator at the high school and say, listen, we need a couple of kids, say Saturday in the summertime when they're not in school. On a Saturday from say 10 till 12. Can you find somebody? And in other words, and they could do that, and they'd be giving back
To the community.
to the community.
and learning about their community.
And we give, as taxpayers, a lot to the schools in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
community. So they could be giving back. I'm not saying they don't give anything back, because I'm sure they do. But they could give back something in that sense. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. Because I many times I've heard this. I've heard people say, "Well, you should just check with the high school," and that's almost impossible. I mean, they need some way.
They have a
there has
coordinator.
some sort of
As a taxpayer, I'd be willing to pay a little bit more in my school tax for a coordinator.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be so beneficial. But I'm sure they can figure it out, how to do it. And plus, they've got a new principal up there.
Yeah.
And I think he's really good. I mean, John's a really good. I knew him at the assistant principal.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I filmed his wedding. I don't know, like 15 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, and I always really respected him from there. And I think if asked, I think he would probably get something.
Yeah. He would put that on
Yeah,
his
right.
plate.
And actually, that's what I was asking. The women's club had a yard sale or
Yeah.
a tag sale.
Last weekend.
And I was talking with a couple of the women, and I was telling them, because they have trouble, finding volunteers also, and so everybody needs volunteers.
Yeah.
And I think many students would love to be able to be volunteers in something that interests them.
Yeah, exactly. If it's not just make work, and I imagine if you had a variety, like you had a coordinator who could offer a
Yeah.
variety of things,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
might find things that they were interested in.
I
doing.
was just thinking. I mean, I know we're supposed to be talking about
Yeah, this is the Flannel
Flannel Festival. However, I think because there are probably some very talented musicians at the high school.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I
Definitely, yeah.
would think they were out. And that say, the senior center, said, well, geez, you got a couple of students that want to come in, at lunch hour to the senior center, and sing or play an instrument and stuff. And just because the kid, maybe they do it already. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if they don't, this is something that
It'd be an opportunity.
an
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah. Be good. I mean, it would give the kid a chance, the young adult or however you say that would give them a chance to perform and maybe, hone their skills a bit and be appreciated too.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times the kids hang around with their own age kids, obviously,
Yeah.
and their parents and maybe the parents' friends and stuff like that. But they don't realize that there's a senior center with dozens and dozens of seniors. You have to be 60 and over. And I think that would be sort of a little eye-opening. Oh, look, I didn't
Yeah.
even know this existed and what they do here.
Yeah.
And I'm sure many have never been down to the Chamber of Commerce. So there's and say, oh, geez,
Yeah.
I'd be and I'm interested in some of these brochures in the sense of, I didn't know this was there and this
Yeah,
was there
yeah.
and we had this and Chester had this or Grafton had that. It's an education.
It
for
is.
them.
And it's so interesting to me is how much we don't know of what is going on. It's sort of like this film that came out. I just found out about it this morning, and it's been around,
Right.
and it's like,
Right.
I'm fascinated by that. That's talent that we don't even know about. It's just,
Yeah, and so there are so many opportunities let's bring this up as we say. Mike and I were talking earlier about all the little things that are happening in the community.
yeah, we want to not say that there isn't anything.
There's a whole lot of little things happening. For instance, you were talking about the people that are going around cleaning up.
Elijah Zimmer has organized this group that meet and I think it's one Wednesday a month. They pick a project, they go out and they complete it from start to finish. And it might be weeding a patch, or it might be painting a light pole, or it might be painting a rail. But they show up. It's 2 hours a time, maybe an hour and a half, and then they're done. And they've done their volunteer thing. And it's such a neat way of doing things and giving back.
It is. And one of the volunteer things I think was done by them is right by the Wyndham Hotel where Bellows is, right there. That flower bed I've never seen it look that nice.
It really does look nice.
It looks wonderful.
I think that was that group and the Rotary got together and put it together.
I
know there's
sure.
some overlap
Yeah,
somewhere.
Yeah.
But and then I think they've done some work down by the building on Bridge Street, and they've done some things, just on the right on Main Street around the light poles and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, just putting down, the red stuff on the ground there, the mulch.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah.
That looks wonderful.
Yeah.
It really does. And those are the little things that people do notice. And these are the things that folks can get involved in.
Yeah.
That saying, oh, geez, I don't, I haven't given anything back to my community ever, or for a long time. And, you don't have to be in any particular economic level.
You could,
You can be somebody that's just on Social Security that still has a need or want to get out there and help. You don't have to be at any. The thing is that who do they contact? So that's extremely important. Now, the people that have been doing the little jobs.
I think it's wide open.
That's just
sort of do some Facebook.
And I know that's just on Facebook, though.
Yeah.
So if you're not on Facebook, right, you're not seeing it. So I'm thinking that maybe there's other ways.
Yeah.
And this is where the chamber could be helpful.
True.
If we had, the manpower to be able to organize something, organize something like that. Because the chamber, I believe, personally believe it's the most important organization in the community. If you don't have a strong chamber, the community isn't as strong as it should be.
Well, I don't know whether it's because people who come from outside, but like you said, whenever I've moved to another town, or the first place you went was the chamber. And when my daughter went off and lived on the Cape, we were looking for an apartment. The first place we went was the chamber. And it's always, and I don't know whether if you've always lived here, you don't use.
Well, we want tourism.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's what we're pushing for, right? So a tourist comes into town, okay, and oh, geez, it's late. I need to find somewhere to stay. So they say, oh, where's the chamber? Okay.
Oh, where's the chamber?
So if it's in it's in the daytime when you would be open, So it's usually on like a Friday, or maybe a Saturday, and they go to the chamber and they where can we stay tonight?
Yeah.
And of course, there's brochures, but you got to be open.
Yeah.
You got to be open. And I mean,
you can't give information if you.
Well, I know that at the Welcome Center, which obviously on 91 coming in from Massachusetts, one of the most beautiful and wonderful welcome centers in all of the United States, without a doubt. And they have an outside kiosk that they have all the hotels and stuff like that, and they have a phone. Actually, that you can call them and make and stuff like. I'm not saying to go to that point, okay?
But
I'm just saying that we need to do little things like that. So if people do come in, they feel very welcome. Oh wow, what a cool town! They show you where everything is. What restaurants are open, and that's something else that I think maybe you should have a show on eventually. Okay,
about restaurants and
food.
Oh, I love food. Yeah.
And why? And the reason is because many of them is just because of lack of people to work them.
Yeah,
I mean that's a big problem across the nation. So maybe that chamber could be influential in that also.
Sure.
Okay, so the chamber is very important.
I agree,
and that's why the Flannel Festival is extremely important to bring in the dollars for the Greater Falls Area Chamber of Commerce to be able to have a full-time director, and that's my goal. To have a full-time director, and also to possibly have a part-timer that can maybe organize the volunteers, that type of thing. Because Deb, who is our executive director now, part-time, has a lot to do.
Sure.
And,
Yeah, and the part-time thing is sort of a funny thing because she gets paid part-time.
So if you come to the flannel, the Southern Vermont Flannel Festival on the 16th or 17th, you'll be supporting your Chamber of Commerce.
There you go. And I would just say, if you go, it's a value. I mean, the number of people playing for, what is it, $6?
$6.
$5 if you wear a flannel shirt.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. The entertainment, the setting. I don't know if people have seen Rockingham Hill Farm, but at that time of the year, it's going to be such a beautiful Vermont setting. I mean, there's silos, there's a beautiful stage. It's almost like a natural amphitheater. Plenty of parking. It's set off. It's just ideal.
So a few of the other things that people may not be aware of, they're going to have, at least they're trying to have a pie contest.
My wife is looking at that.
All right, so if you cook a pie and you're going to have a contest, I don't know what the prizes are, but anyway, it'd be cool. It'll be fun.
But bragging rights. If you had the best pie at the Flannel Festival, come on.
I can tell.
But there are going to be. I'm competitive in that.
Here you go. and the other thing is that this year they're going to have a number of children things also, and they're going to also have a contest in cornhole. Cornhole.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what it was, but now
you call yourself a Vermonter.
You throw the beanbag into a hole. So that's
it's like horseshoes except less violent.
Yeah. So they're gonna maybe next year we could have both.
Horseshoes and corn.
Because there's some really good horseshoe players.
Yeah, there are
in our community. I remember when the Moose?
Mm-hmm.
The Moose or the American? Who has the park up on Darby Hill? The little place up on Darby Hill.
The Polish
American Club, right?
Yeah.
They have some nice
pits.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Pits, right.
Horseshoe pits.
Right. And I've seen a couple of competitions up there.
Yeah.
I filmed one way back when I used to be in the film business.
Well, there are fewer horses around now, but corn is still a major crop. So that's why we switched, I think, because cornhole's everywhere now. I mean, that is like...
I know, it's really big.
Yeah,
I didn't know what it was. I thought it did have something to do with corn, but it has nothing to do with corn. And I don't understand why they call it that. All right, we digress.
We have gone. Where are we? It's time to wrap it up. Colin's looking at us. I can't tell if he's making the "you're crazy" sign or "time to wrap it up" sign. But the Southern Vermont Flannel Festival, the feed, and we're out of here. So thanks, Charlie. It was great having you on, and see you next week.
Local news, politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty.